We truly live in a hell realm. We live in a world that abandons lonely men and that doesn't really care about people's pain and agony and all the things that we go through. You gotta be a soldier on the battlefield in this world. And what sucks about us is that we have to be a one man army. There's nobody coming to save us. There's nobody coming to lend out a helping hand. If anything, there's people around us who are supposed to have our backs, or people that you know that pretty much throw you out to the cold and let the wind just take you. And it's absolutely brutal. When you're a rejected or a dejected man, and when you're lonely and when you're isolated, the world doesn't have any type of compassion for you. The world doesn't really care about you having to wake up every day and go to your 9 to 5 job that you absolutely can't stand, but you can't afford to quit it, because the moment you quit it, you're going to be homeless. You're going to be without a roof over your head. But at the same time, it's like, why can't we live in a world where we can do what we love for a living? Why do we have to be forced to do things that are not conducive for our spiritual growth and development? We're forced to be around people that are energy vampires. They take away our confidence. They laugh at our lack of accomplishments. They laugh at all types of horrendous things about us and about the world. This world is very evil, and whoever created it, whoever established it, is just as evil. There's no way that it should be okay to be alone for such a long time, because I know each one of us, we want a good woman in our life. Not just any type of woman, a good woman, right? But the problem with modern society and modern women is that you're scarcely going to find good women. And if you do find a good woman, the chances of her liking you, due to her myriad of options, because women have so many options, is almost zero. Or it is zero, really. It's not even almost zero, it is zero. Let's just be honest and let's just be real. Most of us are probably never going to get married. We're never going to have a family. We're never going to be rich. We're never going to be famous. And everybody that shitted on us will probably get away scot-free or act like they didn't do it. Meanwhile, they monitor us. Meanwhile, they talk about us. Meanwhile, they always just do very evil things towards us, and they expect us to just kiss their arse. I just don't understand how the world doesn't understand how there's millions of men that are dropping out of society. Just look at the world today. Why would anybody who doesn't have to wage slave? You know, it makes no sense. And it's so hard to get rich. It's so hard to get famous. It's so hard to do all these things in life while simultaneously you have to earn a buck. There's no way that true happiness is found in this dimension for guys like us. It's reprehensible that we have to go through so much agony. And to make matters worse, it's people in this world that are just put in our lives to make our lives even more harder. I look at the things that I've been through in the last just couple of years, and I try my best not to think about it because it really just angers me. And I have every reason to go ER. I know many of you do as well, because people keep messing with us. People keep bothering us. Instead of just leaving us alone, minding their business, they choose to target us. They choose to harass us. And you have to be a little fearful of the quiet guy in the room, because there's that saying where it's the loudest person in the room that everybody notices, but it's the quiet guy you don't notice. And when the quiet guy gets loud, that's when, things go disastrous pretty much. But what does it mean in this world where we're trapped inside these flesh suits? Our souls, our eternal divinity is trapped inside, this body of ours, and we can't really do what we want. We have limitations. We have a government system that is evil and wicked, and yet they want us to work for them. We live in a system of oppression, a system of stress, and every single day we have to go through all types of things. Like, do you ever feel just disgusted inside? Do you ever feel that revulsion When you think about the world we live in a disgusting, evil world. It's just repulsive. We got politicians and global cabals. They're all going on Epstein Island and all other types of secret places doing unspeakable acts. Meanwhile, the regular everyday person is just trying to get up and work their job and get another meal. You know, try to keep the roof over their head, try to get food in their bellies and get the next meal. Try to, maybe ask a girl on a date, but most girls think guys are ugly anyway. So the chances of you going on a date even is probably zero unless she uses you for money and then, ghosts you after that. It really, it really puts in perspective why a lot of men choose to opt out of society. Why a lot of men choose just remain ghosts. They just wake up, go to work, pay their bills, and come home and just game, or they cope with illicit drugs, maybe alcohol, maybe a little bit of marijuana here and there. But to try to fit into this society, you have to be a monster, it seems like. You have to have no conscience. You have to just be evil and wicked to try to fit in society. I don't want nothing to do with society. I don't want to be a part of this world anymore, man. I really don't. I don't want to be forced to be in a place that I don't want to be in any longer. You know, all I want is just, I wish I had my own world, a place where I can be free, a place where I can express myself, a place where I can feel in power. You know, instead of like always feeling under a system of oppression. It's like, why did all these bad things happen in my life? I'm not an evil person. The only thing I did wrong was not wanting to be a wage slave and try to make it in what I wanted to make it in. That's all I did wrong, and people hated me for it. People disliked me for it. People targeted me for it. All I ever wanted to do was just make my little creative projects and get paid off of them, just like everybody else who made it and they got to do their dreams for a living. But because I tried to do it, I was the one who didn't make it. You ever notice that, how different men can do something, and then when you try to do it, you don't make it, you know? And there's another interesting thing I noticed is like, people can do bad things towards me, right? But if I try to do anything bad towards them to retaliate or out of retaliation, then I'll get hit 1,000 times worse, honestly. Like if somebody does something messed up to me and I just let them get away with it and don't do nothing, they'll continue to do it, they'll get confident in doing it, and they'll just stay doing it. But the minute I try to retaliate back and say, or just fight back and just try to defend myself and just say, hey, stop that, or hey, you need to, whatever. If I try to do anything bad, then I'll get hit 1,000 times worse. Like the punishment hits me almost instantaneously, and I get targeted even more. Even after somebody started it with you. I don't bother nobody. I don't mess with nobody. So why do people feel the need to come and attack me or bother me in this world? I just want to be left alone and mind my business. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not messing with nobody. I just want to be left alone. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and I just want to just be left alone. These videos are just for me to vent. If you can relate to them, that's great. That's amazing and that's wonderful, and I'm glad. But I just want happiness. That's all I ever wanted. I never wanted to be in a world that treats good people evil and treats evil people good. It's like this world is upside down. Who on earth would want to continue living in a realm like this, in a world where justice is not rewarded, but wickedness and evil is rewarded, in a world where being a good guy to women makes women unattractive to you? Make it make sense. How is being a nice guy to a woman all of a sudden makes a woman not even like you or like you less? It doesn't make any sense. And then if you notice the type of men that a lot of women choose, is that they choose some of the baddest men. They choose men that are just evil. Women choose evil men all the time, and then good men get left aside. Like good men get left asunder. Good men are not allowed to have a beautiful woman in their life. There's so many people that if they had a girl in their life, they would go so much farther in life. But when you get my age and you get older, life is pretty much over. Once you hit 30 years old, your life is over. If you like by age 30, if you haven't accomplished your dreams by age 30, you'll never will. If you haven't gotten married by 30, if you haven't made $1 million by 30, it's just gonna go downhill from there. It's not fair, man, that certain people get to be born with wealth, power, good looks. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just born at the bottom with a bottom, and there's no way, no raising up. Even as I make this video, bro, I'm half awake, right? Because I've been working on my novel for like 2, 3 days and with little sleep, if any, right? And I noticed that when I get this tired, it's almost like being high in a way. You take a little hit out of a joint or something like that, right? And as I'm writing my book, I feel so in tune when I'm creating. I feel this like focus when I'm just writing and just creating things in my mind coming to the computer screen as I'm writing and creating these different scenarios, these different battle scenes, and I'm like, wow, if only life can be this easy, when I can just close my eyes and imagine things, and they come into reality, they come into fruition, they come and they actually manifest. You know how easy life would be if we can just manifest all of our dreams and ambitions. But it seems like this world always manifests the worst things in our life. It always attacks you. You can want something so bad for years. You can want to have a girlfriend for years. You can want to have, sexual alleviation with a cute girl for years. And you notice that the years go by and you never get it. I never wanted to be in this position that I am. I wanted to be where Kendrick Lamar is at in life. Why didn't I make it? Look at the people who are around me in life. Look at what they believed in. Look at how they talked about me in the shadows. Look how they treated me when they quote unquote had power over me. Look what they did to me. Now, what do you think I'm going to do if I ever gain power over those people? Take a wild guess. Why, if you don't like somebody, you're watching their channel? If you don't like me, why are you here? Why are you watching this? Why? Am I that interesting? There's millions of people, millions of channels you can watch. This is for the haters and the trolls and my bitch ass cousin that I won't mention again after this video because they're not even worth a spit, from a dragon's tail. But if you don't like me, why are you here? Just leave me the fuck alone. Don't you have your own life to live? Why do you care about what I think if I'm such a loser and I'm nothing? Right? I really wish you could neutralize people and get away with it. I really wish you could. I really wish this world could have like the purge, for 28 or 24 hours. Certain activities are legal and you get to, do what people have done to you pretty much. But of course, the damn government infrastructure, they have that all the time against us plebs or plebeians or whatever. I don't know, man. I feel like this world is just a piece of shit. I think this world is just evil. Just think about this, man. When you see a girl that you really like, yet you can't hug her, you can't kiss her, you can't engage in sexual alleviation with her. Even if in your mind you're like, this girl is perfect for me, I want to make her my wife, I want to have kids with her, I want to do all these things with her, but more than likely she's going to look at you and say, ew, And it's brutal because you had nothing to do with that. You had nothing to do with your looks. You had nothing to do with being born a certain race. You had nothing to do with being who you are. And this world punishes you for being unique. This world rewards conformity, but punishes individuality. That's the world we live in right now. We live in a world where evil is rewarded and righteousness is not rewarded. Make it make sense. Why would we live in a world where Evil people get ahead and good people get destroyed. And I noticed this, man. A lot of guys who look like me are going through it, getting kicked out their houses, having girls dissing them, you know, and going through all type of let's just say skin color configuration, obliteration. And there's nobody that cares because imagine being alone, imagine being a lonely guy, imagine being in poverty, imagine being a grown man that's supposed to have your shit together, but all you wanted to do was just do what you wanted for a living. And then imagine seeing people who are half your age that had help. They had people come into their life and show them the ropes. This is how you sell beats online. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And they actually help them. This is why that some people who have mentors, they go further in life when you have a mentor. I think a lot of us could use mentors. People that can guide us through this life, because this life is brutal. This life is not meant for people with a good heart and a good soul and a good spirit. This life is literally meant for people who are evil. People who harbor hatred in their hearts, people who harbor all types of evil and wickedness in their souls. But it's not for people that harbor righteousness in their hearts, righteousness in their souls. Because when you're a good person, you get punished for it, man. When you try to mind your business and stay out the way, this world's going to find a way to pull you into oblivion. It's going to find a way to pull you into a prison and pull you into all types of evil and all types of wickedness in 6th edition. And then you have to look for a job. If you're a NEET, if you're a NEET and like the people around you who let you NEET, they pass away or they kick you out, what are you going to do then? Imagine being a NEET for a decade or being a NEET for 3 years, 5 years, and then now you're forced to find a job. Now you're forced to interact with a society who despises you. I think that's a form of torture, a form of loose harvesting. Sometimes I really wish I was a multi-millionaire. I wish that I had all my dreams come true. Why? If this God loved me, which he doesn't love me because he's the demiurge, he's jealous of my divine spark. But if this God truly loved me and loved you listening, you wouldn't be struggling the way you're struggling right now. You would be a handsome person. You would have a woman in your life. You would have all your dreams and ambitions accomplished. Do you notice how for some people life can be so damn easy? Things just work for them. Why would a God want you working at a job that you don't want to be at? Why does this God get mad because you don't want to work at a job that doesn't make you happy? There's only one answer for that, because when you go to a job that you don't like, and you got to be around people who don't like you, and you got to go through stress, and you got to go through this, and you got to go through that, your soul releases loose energy, and you're getting loosed. This God doesn't want you happy. He can snap his fingers like that and make you a millionaire. Then you don't have to go to that job every day that you hate. Why would a God who loves you want you to go to a job that you don't like every day? Does that make any sense? And if you actually have talent to do something, why would this God not help you be successful? Why? What does this God get for our misery and our pain? Loose energy is what. That's what this God gets. Think about it. Look how the world's set up. You go to the grocery store, let's say you get some ground beef to make hamburgers or to make some burritos or tacos or something. You go to the meat section, you get ground beef. You go to the other section, you get the taco shells, you get the taco cheese, you get the sour cream, you get all that stuff, right? But the ground beef, it came from a living animal. It came from an animal that had a mom, that had a dad, that had a family, that grazed upon some grass or something at one time. It was a living being that breathed oxygen just like you breathe oxygen. That was alive at one time, the same time you was alive. And now it's just grounded in with thousands of other cows and the ground beef just so you can devour it. And then once you eat it, you may be full for a minute or a couple of hours. And then you're hungry again, and then you got to repeat the process and start eating more flesh of deceased beings. Think about it, man. I was watching this Food Network, this food channel. I was just looking at it, and the food looked good, of course. But I was like, that's basically just a bunch of deceased animals and their flesh, just sprinkled with spices and cheeses and herbs. Doesn't that seem wrong to you? Where we have to survive off of the flesh of other animals. And in order to do that, you have to neutralize their lives in order for you to survive. Wouldn't a good, loving God create abundance for all without needing us to feed on other beings? It just seems wrong to me. You know, it just don't seem right to me. It doesn't sit well with my soul. It doesn't sit well with my stomach. I don't know why this life does this to us. You know, I feel like a type of black sheep. All I ever wanted, man, was to be a rich and famous person and have girls in my life. That's all I ever wanted, man. To do what I love for a living. Why is that such a bad thing to this God? Why is it such a bad thing for me to be a millionaire producer or be a millionaire music person, but it's not for somebody else to make it? When my whole life, my family has prayed to this being. I used to pray to this being when I was younger. And yet this God didn't do shit for me. You know, he made my life even harder than what it has to be. Where I could simply wake up in the morning, be in a good mood, roll up a joint, smack the booty of the girl that's next to me in bed, you know what I mean? Get some fellatio with a high ratio, start hitting it from the back, make that nanny smack, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And just be happy and like, hey baby, you wanna go to breakfast real quick, or you wanna go to dinner later or something, But just work on music all day. See her walking around in her underwear, she got her booty shorts on, while she walking around, she starts cooking some food in the kitchen or whatever, just to give me a little snack, And I don't live a regular life. I'm not meant for a regular life, man. That's one thing about it. I'm not meant to be a normie. Like, my mind doesn't function that way. I'm meant to create. And if this God is supposed to be my God, he should know that. So for him to make sure that I don't meet people like Taz Taylor, that I don't meet people like Nick Mara, that I don't meet people like Kay Beasley or Josh Petruccio, knowing damn well that I'll work my ass off writing songs every day, making music every day, getting paid every day. Why would a God not put people around me that can help me do that? Why? Why would a God try everything in his power but give me that? Right? Doesn't make any sense. And then when I try to go find a job or whatever, I get rejected from the job. When I try to do the quote unquote right things, it doesn't happen. Why? Why? There's something going on in this world, man, that we really need to take a closer look at, a closer analyzation about this fucking situation that we find ourselves facing and placed in. I don't know who in the hell thinks that this is a good world, because it's not. This is a world of evil. This is a world that has the fomentation of wickedness. This is a world that will break you down because you're a righteous person. This is a world that doesn't want you happy but wants you miserable. This is a world that just wants you to break. Why couldn't I have good people in my life? Why couldn't I have been 19 years old, rapped my ass off, met Dr. Dre? Why? Do you think I want to be a wage slave? I know I'm better than that. I actually have freaking talent. Why do I have to be, I never wanted to be Black Pill villain, That's something that just came to me, Why when I get on the internet and just talk about my life, it just gets like you attract some of the most fucking craziest, weirdest, stupidest people on the planet, who like to troll, get me doxxed. Then you got a cousin who doesn't like you, who's dealing with his own insecurities and his own sexual insecurity because he did something nasty with his best friend and with another man. And then he gets mad at me because he sees me building something online, which he can never build himself. He's miserable with himself. And he freaking watches all my videos and listens to what I'm saying and tries to use it against me. Like, what the fuck? When I was just making raps a couple of years ago, no one cared. No one cared about me, man. I'm just a normal. That's why my video, I don't have the best quality, man, because I'm just recording on my phone because I don't have a freaking computer to even make the right freaking videos. All I wanted to do was just try to express myself. I wasn't planning on getting an audience. I wasn't planning on getting big on YouTube. I didn't plan any of this. And then when I try to get monetized, YouTube denies me. But when I first had my first channel, Black Pill Villain, YouTube accepted me instantly. You know, it's funny because when I wasn't trying, I got accepted and I got monetized, right? You know, I didn't make no money on it because I didn't have my ID. But now, you know, when I got my papers in order or whatever, and I try to get monetized, YouTube says no. That's if that's not the demiurge at work screwing me over, then I don't know what is. I don't know, man. It's just this whole world is just full of shit. You know, this whole world is just full of crap. And everything that everything that we've been through, it's just for nothing in the end. It's not like you go through things, then you get blessed. I used to think that the more you go through, the more blessings you'll get from God, you know? But I was wrong because some people didn't have to go through anything and that God blessed them. Why, what? Am I a threat to this God? I wonder if all of us who go through this hell in this world, are we threats to this God? Is there something that we have inside of that's a threat, and this God has to constantly put us in positions of poverty, put us in positions where we're always going through something? I wonder. We have to be a threat to this being somehow because the way we get treated as if we're some type of nuclear danger. Because not everybody gets treated this way. And I also know the people that I notice that the people that get blessed, they don't have this type of mind that I have. They don't question reality. So it's no wonder this God never blessed me with power, wealth, or influence. But honestly, I don't want to be blessed by this God. This God is a fraud, and this God is evil, sadistic, twisted, and wicked. And I don't want to be bothered with that. I want to keep my soul righteous and pure. Point blank, period.